Back here at the backyard golf course, we've done a lot of cleaning up the areas. This was an old industrial property. It was an old gravel pit for decades and decades, and we've planted a lot of grass here, and it's looking pretty good. However, this one area that I have left here has always been sitting around, and this fall, before it gets too cold here, I want to clean it up. So this is the extreme end of the property line. We have our tee box, one of my favorites up there that we built a couple months ago. We've got the nice green over there, and pardon my crooked flag, it drives me crazy. I got these pins and cups from a golf course and they're worn out. There's so much play in them that the pin just moves around when the wind blows. I will get a new one next year, I promise. But this area right here, it's not really going to be golf related. It's kind of crazy. I'll explain, and I think it might make sense at the end. But in this area, I am going to do a vegetable garden. I know that sounds crazy, and I know it's not golf related. It's a bit weird to throw a garden in here, but at a previous location, I did a lot of gardening years ago, had some really good soil, and I got a chance now to remove that soil and bring it over here. And I think it's fitting. We've got a tee box over there, we've got a tee box over here, so we're not really interfering with golf. And maybe down the road I get back into some extreme gardening like I used to do with the giant pumpkins. But for now, I think I'm just gonna scoop this out, get a shape here, and bring in some of my best soil because I just don't want to see it go to waste. And this is the garden soil that I want to take over to the golf course. This was a really good garden. I worked hard on this soil over the years, balancing it, soil tests, adding a lot of compost. It grew a lot of pumpkins in here. I grew probably 10,000 pounds of giant pumpkins over the years out of this garden. I know it does sound crazy to move soil, but this soil is so good. I just don't want to leave it here and let it just grow up into weeds and grasses. Not bad, a little sandy. So I'm going to measure out roughly how much soil I have. There's actually a smaller garden over here that I didn't even show you. See how much volume of soil I have, and then I'm going to try to place an area over by the golf course that we can fit all this soil. Hopefully my high school math teacher is not watching, but I believe between the two gardens over there, there is 2,700 square feet of garden soil. That root zone that I have over there is very deep, so I can safely go 12 inches down. That, I believe, is 100 cubic yards of really nice garden soil. So now I'm going to try to map this out and see what we can fit here. Final size, 35 wide, 65 feet long. That is 2,300 square feet. That's a lot of garden. That sounds like a lot of work. I'm not sure I'm a guy who needs a giant garden in his life, but it'll take up this space. Bring that soil over. I just want to use it, have it here. Can always plant grass on it later if we want, but for now, I'm going to attempt to dig this out, level it, and get ready to bring some soil over. I started digging out this morning and I forgot two things. First one was this excavator. I forgot how much I like running this thing and how handy these mini excavators are. That machine played a huge role last year shaping this backyard golf course. And then the second thing I forgot is how rocky it is around here. It is just loaded with rock. It's slow going, but I'm gonna keep powering through here and see if I can get this cleaned right up. Out to about here is where I want to go. So still a lot of material to come out. I'm going down about 12 inches here across the whole area. So that's a lot of fill. But if you look back here, we cleared a few trees and I have a little surprise. When I was standing there last night, I walked all the way back and it is a really nice tee shot. So I think I've done it again. I've accidentally built another tee box here. I opened this area up mainly to hide the compost pile over here where I never have to look at it again. But once it got opened up, it's just way too nice of a shot here. There's our tee box if you can see it. That's the furthest one I have at about 127 yards. But this one's back. It's got to be back at least another 30 plus yards. So it's going to be a really nice shot and a tough one to hit that small green down there. We've got a nice water view here and that's already getting high. I think I'm just going to keep ramping soil up because I don't know what I'm going to do with this. I wanted to go around the perimeter with the excavator. I think it was just easier to see how deep this was. I have had these gardens for about 15 years, so I thought there'd be about this much dark black soil, but there was really only this much fluffy soil from the tiller. It's amazing how shallow that tiller actually gets. It will be very interesting to see if I have enough volume come out of here, if it fills up that space that I dug out at the new garden. If I had to do this again, I probably would have came in first, dug around a little bit to see actually how much soil there was here. Soil moving day today. We're going to use a dump trailer. It's going to be slow. This place is looking pretty big. Not sure why I made such a big garden. I'm hoping there's enough soil there. We'll find out later today. This is my finished compost. It's been here for 5 years. It just keeps getting bigger and bigger as each season's compost becomes finished compost the next year. And this might save me because there's probably 3 dump truck loads here. It's really added up. This is the greatest stuff on earth for a soil amendment, whether you're putting it on your lawn or flower bed or garden. It is millions and millions of leaves and a lot of coffee grounds all mixed up. Perfect finished compost. And what I'm going to do with this is put it on top, trying to sprinkle maybe an inch or so across the entire top of the area. Well, there it is, a giant garden. I wasn't certain on my math. It didn't look good in the early loads that were coming over. I didn't think we'd have enough, but with that compost now added on, there was a lot of compost. I really think this soil is going to take off next year. It is light and fluffy. I've been on the topsoil for the last year of the golf course, and that's just such a different soil compared to this stuff. It is super loaded up, really high nutrient value. It's gonna be fun to see this soil come to life. This was kind of a make work project here. I didn't know if it really had to be done, but honestly, the best part about the entire thing is that tee box that we got way back there. I had a scope, a rangefinder, and it was 155, so that's a big shot here. I had nothing over 126. This one here is 126, so to have a 155 par 3, like that's getting to legit numbers. That's going to be a lot of fun hitting from back there on that waterfront tee box. So nice to have these piles of compost gone. They've been there for years, like 5 or 6 years. Tee box there, and then there is the new one. How good does that look? And yes, I have a new compost pile here. This is this season's leaves that are starting to fall down now. We're getting late in the year. I can't quit compost. I should go to rehab. Always probably gonna have a compost pile. This stuff is just so good. Unfortunately, looks like a landfill here. I'm gonna have to try to clean it up next year, get some grass on here. And I don't know, I'm out of room. I need some compost though. One final step, and if you do have a garden at home, this is a fantastic thing to do every fall. I haven't done it in years, and it is still one of the best values. Fall rye, winter wheat, I think it's called too. It's going to go down, it's going to germinate in these cold temperatures, it's going to grow next spring, and then before we plant the garden, till it under and you get all that nutrient value. This is slightly different than your ryegrass on a lawn. It is a giant seed, very large seed, grows vigorously, super cold hardy, so it's actually going to probably get some germination, depends on the weather we get, but it'll germinate under that snow in the spring if we don't get it up this year. I haven't planted this in years, but the price on this stuff is still very reasonable. I have $3 in this bag, and I'll be able to do 2,400 square feet here, so it's great value. If you've got a garden at home, just cover crop every fall. It's fantastic. That was difficult. I had to hold the spreader in the air because this soil is so light and fluffy, it just didn't want to go. Final step in this entire process, I just want to take this rake and drag the backside of it to get this seed under the soil a little bit. This stuff's supposed to be down like an inch. It's a farm seed. This is not a grass seed, so a little bit different story here. It doesn't want to be on top of the surface. We're late in the year, now November, and I'm way up north above the 45th parallel, so I don't know if this seed is going to germinate this year. If we get some decent weather like we have right now, that black soil is going to get really warm in the sun. So we'll have the heat, lots of rain coming in the next couple days. So maybe we have some green up here. I'll show you in another video if we do get some green here. If not, next spring, this will be green. This will grow up to here. I'll mow it down and then till it under the soil. But that is it. We have a backyard garden at the backyard golf course. Not really sure why I have a garden here, but it's here now. I like it, it's done, and we can get on to the golf course. I gotta start shutting this thing down. It's unfortunately that time of year. We're getting near the end of golf season here, but we are days away from the 1 year anniversary. I don't know when the anniversary was here, but that Kentucky bluegrass germinated about a week from today, a year ago. So I am going to do a final 1 year anniversary for the golf course. We'll go over everything from start to finish, from those early days last year to what it looks like now. So thanks for watching this one. We moved a garden, we moved a lot of soil. This is really powerful growing soil though. I love it. We'll see what we can do next year with it. The dog days of summer are long gone. We're in the dog days of fall. I don't think that's actually a thing, but winter's unfortunately coming around the corner. We've lost a lot of leaves here. Things are looking gray. One nice feature is that tamarack tree. Tamaracks, they grow way up north. That's where I am. And for 1 week a year, they look nice and golden like that. And then they give up to lose all their leaves and just sit there brown and bare all winter. I've got a little bit of work over here to do on this side of the property, and there is that new tee box. It is so good. Came out of the blue, really didn't expect this one. I got a scope out there, 155. Did not think I could ever get a hole that long here. That small green at the house is really hard to hit from 126 over here. So it's gonna be really difficult to pinpoint that from 155. With the leaves now off the trees, you can see this is such a nice spot here. You're on some prime waterfront property. Got another tee box here, and then hey, check out that smoke bush. Not everything is gray and gloomy this time of year. A couple trees really kick off here in the fall. And if you look out there, floating is a raft. That is a Loon nesting raft that I built 2 years ago. I have a bad habit of doing some crazy projects here, like building a backyard golf course, growing giant pumpkins, and building a Loon nesting platform. I built that platform 2 years ago and dragged it out there. And at that point, the loons were already nesting upriver on a natural the pile of weeds. They basically just pile weeds up, get up out of the water, and they had 2 eggs on that nest. But we got a lot of rain 2 years ago, and this river will fluctuate in height, and the water came up, it flooded their nest. Once that egg touches water, it's game over. They abandoned the nest. They actually came down here, built a bit more of a nest, and laid 1 egg on that platform. Super cool to see nature accept something that a person has built. All right, now we gotta get this raft in and not fall in the water. That's the goal. And I have 2 bricks holding this thing down that I gotta somehow pick up and get into the boat and then tow this thing back to the dock. Wow. There we go. I understand no one clicked on this video to watch loons, but this is just another job around here to do before winter. Why do I do these crazy jobs? All right, now we just got to tow it back home. Well, that's it for another year. I'll drag that back out in the spring and give the loons an artificial option if they don't find a natural nesting place that they're happy with.